Morning, folks. Vans, Cars, and Trucks, Brooksville, Florida. Today we'd like to talk about buying a used vehicle. You know, as we look out on the road, there's thousands and thousands of cars, but guess what? Everyone you see on the road is a used vehicle. So unless you're actually buying that as a first owner, you're inheriting the vehicle, all the good and all the bad of the previous ownership and the care it's had. So I'm going to give you a walk around of what we look for and what you should consider looking for yourself. And I'm going to say, really, it's all about having good observation skills. And if you got your eyes open and think and digest the information that your eyes and ears will present to you, you can make some really good educated decisions. I'm going to start with this one. And the reason I'm starting here is, you know, it's a 11-year-old vehicle and it's got a few miles on it. Do we expect it to be perfect? Absolutely not. Do we want it to be good and suitable and have any hidden agendas? No, we don't. So, what we're first going to look at, and what I look at, is called body lines. Look at where your fenders and body lines connect. See if they're straight. See if they're lined up. These are basic criteria that you're going to be able to observe yourself with a naked eye. And just because you got a good Carfax report, and we're a Carfax Advantage dealer, which we're proud to be a part of that program. It wasn't cheap, and we were chosen for it. And we're glad to have it for the historical and transparency that it gives. But that's only the starting point. Looking for body lines, carefully for paint defects. Those are the starting points as well. Do I expect the 11-year-old vehicle to be perfect in their paint? No, not really. Do I expect it to have some redos on the paint to make it look right? I kind of do. Because in Florida, you won't have a red vehicle that has original paint unless it was in a museum to have really perfect paint job. So I would expect bumpers to be done, maybe top surfaces to be done, things of that nature. As I walk around, I'll make note of, I would expect to see some paint chipping. We have just not rocks and such, but we also have love bugs in Florida. So these are the kind of things we pay attention to. These are minimal cosmetic issues, but they're the things that can lead you to other things as well. Look at the condition of your glass all the way around. Is there cracking? Do we have issues there? Again, just because you have a clean Carfax doesn't mean you want to keep your eyes closed. We're going to walk around to the side of the vehicle here in a second and open up the hood, and we're going to show you some things under the hood as well. Be right with you. Okay, moving the conversation forward to what's under the hood. You know, we want to have a good, strong vehicle, and here again, observation skills are going to tell you a lot. So as we crack the hood open, we're going to look for some particular features. I'm going to look down with the key out of the ignition. I don't want to have anybody with the ignition key in the ignition. I'm going to look at the condition of this one serpentine belt. And I'm going to put a little pressure on it, and I'm going to see if there's any cracking. Because if there is cracking, that tells me that it does need to be changed. All these things, it shouldn't make or break a deal, but it's going to make you ever so more knowledgeable about what the condition of the vehicle is and the previous owner, what they could have done or maybe what they did already. The actual VIN plate, which is on the driver's door, is replicated here as well. If you don't know what kind of motor it is, it tells you right there it's a 5.3. But also the VIN number should also match up to what you have under the hood as well. And the condition of your soft hoses, you can look at that. Look at the condition of your coolant. Is it water in there or is it coolant? Go ahead and unscrew the lid. Look at it. If you have a question about it, look underneath the lid. Is there any milking on that? Because if there's milking, that's a sign that it either has or had a head gasket issue, perhaps. So you look for these little criteria. When you pull your dipstick out, we don't expect to have brand new oil necessarily. We do change oils here, but if you're looking, put it on your finger. It doesn't hurt. Does it still have good viscosity, or is it all dirty and is it full of debris? What is the condition of that oil? Same with your transmission dipstick as well. What's your battery like? Does it look like it's well cared for? All of these little things under the hood will give you the idea of what this vehicle is about. We don't put silicone on our under the hood. We do make sure that they're going to be clean, but also look at your valve cover gaskets. You can look down in there, see if you have any oil that's leaking and seeping. Is it going to be perfectly clean? Probably not. It goes down the road every day. But should it be representative for being a good, substantial vehicle that doesn't have a problem? Again, observation skills are the criteria. As I look down at the tires, because I'm going to walk around here, I'm going to look down at the tires. I'm not only going to see the condition of the tire, but also I'm going to get down on my hands and knees and I'm going to look at the date code on that tire. This tire here was actually the date code I'm going to show you in a second. We'll do a cutaway here momentarily, but the date code is put on there by the tire manufacturer. So just because you have great tread doesn't mean you have a good tire. That tire could be 6, 7, 8 years old and you may not even know it, but it's beyond its useful life. The tire on this vehicle was born, it says 3718. We'll show you the picture of what that date code looks like so you'll be able to spot it yourself. But 3718 means that tire was born, manufactured on the 37th week of 2018. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's well within the specs of what we want to have. If you're running a 6-year-old tire and just because it has good tread, I wouldn't want to be out on the road. So we'll pick you up in a moment on the inside of the vehicle and give you some ideas of things to look at there. Okay, folks, so now we're in the driver's seat and we started the vehicle up. And by the way, you probably want to start it on a cold motor. That's just another good habit I've learned over the years. Can't always do it, but when it does happen, it's ever so helpful. Somebody should be looking at that motor and listening carefully. And when you do that, you're going to hear any unusual noises or disturbances. I'd even have somebody look at the tailpipe and see if there's anything coming out there, you know, a little puff of smoke and coolant. Doesn't mean it's a bad car necessarily, but it makes you want to be aware of what's going on. Again, these are all habits that we've learned. We buy 500 cars a year. So when you buy that many vehicles, you do learn some basic rules of the road on buying a vehicle that I want to pass on to you. Being a good observant purchaser, being aware of what you're getting, can get you that fair deal and hopefully the best deal that you want to have on the vehicle. When I'm sitting here now and I look at the overall condition, I look at the door panel, I look at the condition of the steering wheel, I look at the dash, I look at the headliner. All these things are telltale signs of what that vehicle has gone through in its history. This is a 2008. Well, guess what? This is 2019, August. So what's the mileage on this vehicle? 174,000 miles. Somebody might at first guess, say, oh my goodness, that's terrible. But you know, let's be real. Do the math. That comes out to 15,000 miles in a year. Actually, that's pretty representative because if you look up the national statistics on that, 16,000 miles plus is a male driver. And kind of a funny fact, you wonder why females get lesser on their insurance rates. It's because they drive less. Again, it's part of the information you can pull right off the website, 10,000 and change. So 10,000 to 16,000, quite a differential between males and females when they drive vehicles. So look at those miles, see if they're representative for the condition of the vehicle. Carfax, yes, that tells you information as well, tells you some histories, maybe some maintenance records, but don't take that only as gospel. Keep your eyes and ears open. We're going to do a test drive segment here in a little bit, but when you're sitting here, look at the whole thing. Does the AC come on fairly quickly? What kind of lights do you have on the dash? Do the electric appliance, do the power, does all that work? The brake pedal. With 174,000, I would expect a little bit of wear and tear on the brake pedal, and yes, it has it. So all those things concur with the condition of that vehicle. Before you buy it, if it's any kind of a major purchase and you do not feel comfortable yourself on making those evaluations, I would recommend for you to take it to your mechanic or a mechanic of your choice to have that vehicle looked at and evaluated. And I'm a firm believer that any good mechanic that really knows his salt should find probably $500 or $1,000 worth of fixes to do on that car because he wants to make it perfect and brand new. If you get a mechanic that can't find anything wrong with a car to spend some money on, then you probably got the wrong mechanic. So I would look at that critical eye, then bring that list back to the dealer and say, this is what we found, and then let's discuss it. Bring it forward. Any dealer that doesn't allow you to take it to a mechanic, you probably need to go ahead and find another dealer because he should welcome that. If he's trying to hide something, he's going to probably dissuade you from wanting to do that, and you would understand the reasons why if he doesn't want to let that vehicle go to a mechanic. He may not want to let you drive one, maybe perhaps because of insurance or other things, but if he can't get it there, then you get it there. And it should be a mechanic of your choice, not his choice. You're paying the bill for that checkout. That way you know that mechanic is paying attention to your needs, not the dealer's needs. So again, good observation skills, have your wits about you. Look, listen, smell, and you can make some real good decisions and get some great buys on used vehicles. Vans, Cars, and Trucks, we hope you enjoyed it. Okay, folks, we took a few minutes outside with a walk around on a vehicle, the ins and outs, the starting point of a primer of buying a good used vehicle. We're going to pick that up again later with a test drive and do some more because we haven't learned it all yet. But I want to impart to you some of those things that I've learned over the many years. But we'll take a second here to close this section out with what else is important. And what else is important is not just a vehicle, but actually it's important who you're going to buy it from. Because you got lots of opportunity. You're going to buy one vehicle. That's really all you need right now, but you want to make that right decision, and I know how important that is. You can buy it off of Facebook, off of Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, OfferUp. You've got all kinds of choices, and then you got dealers, large and small. You got all kinds of choices there. All those are legitimate choices, but they all have their own parameters. Be ever so careful on those social media sites that the seller is actually the owner of the car. First thing I would do would be I would look at the title and make sure that matches up to the driver's license on that seller, because guess what? We've learned from past experiences and our customers that over 50% of those cars that are being offered are not really by the seller. It's their cousin, uncle, friend, whatever, and they're kind of curbing cars, which is, by the way, a state and federal law against that for a reason, to protect you, the consumer. Along that lines is that individual going to be really concerned about that car and as it moves forward with you? Will he let you take it to a mechanic? Will he stand behind the car any way, shape, or form? Where does that leave you at or stranded if something should happen with a short period of time? Is there a warranty involved? Is he going to be motivated to help you? I don't know. Bring it forward to us. I will admit that I'm sitting here in a position that I am definitely biased towards. As a dealer sitting here for 20 years, I got my own thoughts on it, and sitting behind this chair since 07, 08 with now a buy here, pay here market, I've learned the hard lessons of being a dealer as well. So we can offer some things that we know that we want to do. Cash car, that's easy proposition. Just make sure you got the right one. Make sure you got to evaluate it correctly and do the deal and make sure it's done. Does that dealer have a mechanic that can help you down the road if you have some issue? Is he motivated to do so? Even if it wasn't something that he was headed in writing, I guarantee you that dealer, if he's small enough, he wants to make sure that he takes care of you as a customer. He needs to be big enough to be actually do it, afford it either financially and or physically with a mechanic or help on staff. Maybe a big dealer sounds good, but a big dealer on a used car sale, is he really motivated to help you in that process? I don't know. He sells $15,000 a year. Small car dealer that has 3 or 4 on the lot, is he able to help you? Again, I don't know. You have to make those decisions when you get that car in front of you and that dealer in front of you. But I would advise you take all credence to have your eyes and ears open. Make some decisions on your gut reaction of how you feel. Look up the reputation of that dealer. Is it going to be spotless? Maybe not. But can you read between the lines where the vast majority of his business really is good business? What is his standing in his community? Or do you want to drive 600 miles to buy a vehicle and then have a problem with it later? I don't know. These are decisions that you're going to have to make. But when you weigh all those odds, that dealer that wants you back and wants your family's business back, I can tell you that's where Vans, Cars, and Trucks is at. And we're sitting here to be part of that process. And we're also going to welcome you to inspect the car, look at our entire operation, make sure that you're happy along the way. And if you have some things that you can't take care of, even if you didn't buy a warranty, guess what? We're not going to turn you away cold. We're going to be part of that helpful process. Are you a little bit short on the cash purchase? Okay, you bought it. You really want that car, but it's $1,500 more than you planned for, and he won't come down any farther. You want it for less. We understand all that equations on both sides of the coin. As a dealer, we're going to be part of that solution. We're going to give you 30, 60, 90 days, same as cash. Or is he able to offer some short-term finance in there? Whatever it takes on our arena to make that sale happen and not just capture you for this one deal, but also going forward for friends and family for that referral sale. That's what we're really here, and that's what we're really all about. So eyes and ears open, pay attention to the car, listen carefully. Is that salesperson on commission? Maybe, maybe not, but I can tell you Vans, Cars, and Trucks, we sell a lot of vehicles, but I don't have one commissioned salesperson here. We all work as a team, and yes, we're going to move some numbers. There's no question about it, and we're going to give them incentives for working, but there's no commissioned salesperson. It depends on your sale to make his weekly paycheck. Vans, Cars, and Trucks. Thanks.